Hello everyone, this is Devesh Shankar. I welcome all of you in on my channel, Cricket. Today we are going to discuss about the Canada Under 19 World Cup performance. It will be very positive. We will try to be as positive as possible uh, because it is high time that we should start focusing on the performance and see how we can do better, right? So before I get started, I would like to tell you that I have two very eminent panelists who will help me to do the analysis, because these are very experienced international players. And let me introduce you to my esteemed panelist and guest, who themselves has played under 19 World Cup in 2004. Umar Vati was a captain, and he's one of my first panelists. And with him joining is Karun Jetty, who was his teammates in 2004, and who also went on to become a vice captain later on in his career. So before I get started with the match analysis and all, I would like to tell you some background of the Canada and Canada's participation in under World Cup, under 19 World Cup. So, and these are the facts, but I just want to reiterate this. So Canada has qualified 8 times for this tournament since it started in 1988. India has won its 4 times, Australia 3 times, Pakistan 2 times, and 1 time each by England, South Africa, Bangladesh, and West Indies. On the other hand, Canada never able to broke into the top 10. So when it started in 1988, Canada were part of ICC Associates 11. And in 1998, they did not qualify. And again in 2000, it was part of ICC America 11. So they did not participate as a country, but they were part of a bigger association. It was only in 2002 Canada made a debut as a team in the World Cup, and since then has qualified 8 times for the cup. So this is the fact. So if somebody say that we are new to this cup, I will not take that logic. We have been playing World Cup for a long time. Canada never able to qualify for playoff. That is the fact. And the highest ranking we have achieved in the Under 19 World Cup was 11th, and that was done in 2010 under the leadership of Rustam Bhatti. Rustam Bhatti, in fact, until today remain most successful captain in terms of winning percentage, that is 50%. Maybe my two panelists will not agree with me, but this is just a data. Highest score Canada did against Japan, and that was 300 for 7 wicket in 2020. And the lowest total they have is against South Africa in 2002, which is 41. And 2002, if I'm not wrong, maybe Ashish Bagai was the captain, or I'm not very sure, but yeah, that is the lowest we have. Most individual run, I will say Arslan Khan has his name there, which is 44-7, and he has played 2 World Cup. Followed by Akash Gill, 312, and Mihir Patel, 233, who is the current captain of the Canada. Highest individual score is by 120 Akash Gill, and he was the first Canadian to score a century in a World Cup. So big clap for him. And then that is followed by Nicholas Manohar, who last year scored like 101. So these are only 2 guys who scored century in the World Cup for Canada. Coming to the bowling side, most career wickets is by Akhil Kumar, 16, and it is followed by Faisal Jamakhandi, 14 wicket. So this was history. And I have already introduced my 2 esteemed panelists. So let's come straight to the match analysis. And to give you a perspective, in the group match, Canada played against 3 better team, I will say, UAE, and Bangladesh and England. So we'll go one by one, and I'll ask my panelists to do some analysis, give some insight that how can we improve. And to be very frank, nobody in Canada were expecting this bunch of boys to win the tournament. No. Or the fair expectation was that can we do better than what we did last time? I think that is a fair ask. With this, I'll hand over to Umar and Karun. Would you like to start with the opening statement, Umar?
Certainly, Deveshbhai, thanks for having us. As far as your statement goes that nobody was expecting them to win, you're absolutely right. And the goal should have been to do better than last time, and hopefully automatically qualify for the next Under 19 World Cup. There are so many challenges that we face here in Canada in terms of cricket, infrastructure, coaching, funding. Those are just some of the basics that we deal with on a daily basis. And a lot of these players, they sacrifice a lot personally, along with their parents. They put in a lot of effort just to be able to go and train and play and reach where they are now. So it is at this time in their life, this is the pinnacle, right? It doesn't get better than that you're playing in a World Cup representing your country. Very proud moment. So we should be proud of them. And there's no criticism in any way, because if you're out of your depth, it's not on you. It's just how it is, because it's not an even playing field for these guys playing against the likes of England, Bangladesh. Bangladesh, they're defending champions, if I am correct. So,
Yeah.
and they're a test playing nation. Some of those guys are already professionals, if or at least semi-professionals, if not fully. I've looked at some of England players' profiles. They've played county cricket, whether it's 4-day, T20, or one days. So they're already ahead in terms
We,
of skill, in terms of experience.
Umar, we'll get into detail into those areas of discussion. But let me just quickly ask Karun to give his opening statement, and
Certainly.
then we'll jump into the analysis of all the three matches. Yeah, Karun.
Oh yeah, Devesh bhai, my opening statement will be that kudos to the guys in this tough times of COVID and all. And I know they're going through all the bubbles and stuff like that when it comes to training or being in the camp and stuff like that. They've been there, they're representing the country. But why does every time Canada is playing at any level, nobody's expecting them to win? They're just expecting them to learn something out of it. We are one of the first nation to play ODI international against US. Even now, we're expecting us to learn cricket. So my opening statement will say that Canada, I would hope in near future, would be associated with teams who are expected to win games, win tournaments, not just to learn from tournaments.
Yeah, I think Karun gave a very historical perspective to what Canada belongs to in cricket world, because the first ever activity of cricket between two international teams that was done in Canada. It is a bit of history, because that time no other country played internationally. And after that match, actually, there was a series started, which is now called SS series. You know this fact. The first was between the US and Canada. So we have a historical background as far as cricket is concerned. Okay, so let's start with the match analysis. And I hope you guys have seen the matches or seen the scorecard. So let's talk about the first match, UAE. What do you think about the UAE match? Where we went wrong? Can we do it better way? Or, was something lacking from our batsmen or the bowler or the fielding? Because when I was watching, and I think both of you are in a very positive frame of mind. I know you guys are not in the mood to criticize the guys, but the other aspect is that they need to have that criticism and the capacity to take the criticism, because now they're international players. And the very early thing they need to pick it up, that how to take the criticism. So I will play the role of devil, and I know both of you are not in the mood of that, but I need to do some dissection of the performance and try to bring the issues forward so that they can learn from it, and they should be taking it positively, even if it is a criticism. I think you guys agree with me, right?
Absolutely. Is it possible to get the scorecards up? Because I quickly glanced at them. If it's possible to do so, so you can dissect it better. But
Yeah,
off the top of my head, against UAE, I know.
Yeah, so this is okay. Let me share my screen. I can bring it on the screen. Share the screen. So this is the scorecard. And the first match, let me give you the point that The toss was won by Canada, if I'm not wrong. Yes. In fact, we can go there and check.
Right. So if you look at the
So
scorecard,
UAE won the toss and opted to bat in the first match.
yeah, seemed like, Canada started off well, but if you halfway through the innings, they've got two partnerships. Two guys scored a 70 odd and a guy scored 39. I think that was the game for Canada from
The
UAE's innings.
UAE,
And then,
UAE scored 284 and we were chasing. And here is the performance from our side. So Yasha got very cheaply, got out. Anup did pretty well, 46 in 54 balls. I think his strike rate is also fairly good. Yashir could not last for long. He's like 9 run, 22 balls. The strike rate again is very low. Mihir Patel did well, 96 of 105 ball. I think you can see his strike rate is the top, one of the top. And then, so Ethan Gibson is
right, so
140.
5, 6, 7 batters, they should have pressed home the advantage, but unfortunately they weren't able to do so. And then I see Kairav Sharma getting 43, coming down the order. It seems like a good effort, but I think what Canada lacked was some runs from the middle order, number 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, and Yashir could not do it because, and I think there was need to do the partnership because one Yash got out cheaply, then there was a need to do a long partnership, which you see, there was no partnership on the top of the order. So every batsman was getting like 3 or 4 overs of partnership, that's it. Only down the line, you will see there was a bigger partnership. Otherwise, there was no partnership on the top order. And I think that makes the difference in the batting side. We could have, because if you see the 235, they almost did it, right? So if they have sustained in the middle order, with somebody would have stayed with Anup China, yeah, maybe Mihir, then they could have achieved this target. What do you say, Karun?
I think Devesh bhai, it goes back down to UAE's first innings, and I could see there's about 8, 9 bowlers used in the ODI. In the first game you're playing in the tournament, you're going with the plan A, and then also you end up using 8, 9 bowlers as a captain have to bowl himself. And one of your main bowlers, few of your main bowlers not finishing their full overs. So that again shows a back foot approach, like I've spoke to you before about it. And the reason other teams might end up scoring more against us is because we go into defensive mode very early.
Yeah.
So as you could see over here, Shield Patel bowled very well, 5.2 in 5 overs. Gurneet Johal bowled very well, 2 wickets for 4.75. Why didn't they finish their overs? Why does captain have to come himself? Why does he have to bring other bowlers? My whole point is, trust your bowlers. You have selected somebody as a bowler, trust them, give them the whole time.
And this is where I find very weird because when they send me the media declaration that when they announced the team, and if you see that media declaration, I have kept that purposely because Ethan was listed as a batsman. He was not, when you announce your team, you tell, this is a right-hand batsman, a bowler, or all-rounder. Ethan is listed as a left-handed batsman. He's not even bowler.
That's one person. That's name I've written down. I have to discuss that on the show because of the
I
way
did not
he
understand how come he has started bowling, and then
I think that was a mistake because what number is he batting at?
No, Ethan. I try to find out from the coaches here, and they say Ethan is a good batsman. He is not a bowler.
I'll tell you one thing about Ethan. Is it Ethan himself, or is it the management, coaching, or the captain? Because he's been bowling as an opening bowler. He had bowled as a second change bowler, and in the third game he bowled as a fifth change bowler. So, you don't know who your first change bowlers, opening bowlers are, who are your first change bowlers, who are your strike bowlers. If you have somebody who's bowling from opening to second and fifth, I think against good teams you're going to struggle, and we have seen that as the game goes on. And I think we'll talk about it in second game and third game onwards.
But if you see, one thing I really found that none of our bowler had a good speed. Like they are not even touching 110, if I'm not wrong, because they does not look threatening. Like your fast bowler should look like a threatening one, right? that anytime he can beat you by pace or something like. We don't have any baller, fast bowler in this team who can look like threatening. What
I
is your?
think Lala can talk more
Yeah,
better
Omar can
about
talk
that
on that.
as a
Omar.
fast bowler.
I mean, it would be premature to say because I have not seen these guys at all. Even the only game that I saw a little bit was them batting against England, and so I will take your word for the way that you were saying that these guys are not threatening the other batsmen with pace,
Yeah.
and that is a genuine concern because if you have 10-20,000 players playing in the country and you still cannot find 3 bowlers who can bowl at least around 125-130, even that is not genuine pace. But I mean,
yeah, but under 19 you will
a little
expect
bit,
them to. Yeah,
then it's a problem.
yeah, and that looks very sad scenario for us. If this is the best bowler we have, and I will assume that selector had done a good job, then this looks very bad and bleak for us.
I'm sorry. Who's the best bowler? You said.
No, if going by the selection, if I give 100% benefit of doubt to the selectors that they have picked the best bowler, fast bowler, then I will say this looks very bad.
But which bowler? What's the name? Which bowler are you talking
So
about?
our fast bowler department is managed by Parambir, Ethan. So these are the 2 bowler I see. I will consider them as a fast bowler, but they are not a fast bowler. They are barely touching 110, I will say. And
But
one
I've
mistake
seen
I also.
Paramveer have done very good job. I've seen Paramveer bowl. He've done very good job. He's been
No,
consistent.
I'm not debating that wicket wise. I'm saying, fast bowler looks like a fast bowler, should look like a fast bowler, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. The other aspect, if you will notice, because data will not tell you, the fielding was not very good from our side. So maybe we are rusty, and full credit to the team because they practice in the net here in the Yashi, and then they go and play international match. It is not easy job to do. So Omar and Karun, from your experience, what do you think about it?
You cannot play practice indoors for 3-4 months and expect to go play in a World Cup. That is just
Stupidity.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
We have come a long way from that, and we seem to be making the same mistakes over and over again. I'm not sure how long before they went, and I know they played a couple of warm-up games. That is not nearly enough if you're competing in a World Cup.
Yeah.
So that is almost suicidal. You're asking. So I mean, then it's well deserved if this is the results that we're seeing. You can't fault these players, but the problems lie elsewhere.
Yes, exactly. That is the issue because all the other teams, they are doing a quality match practices before coming into the championship, right? India was playing and Pakistan was playing Asian championship before they came into this championship. Other associate countries, they are putting the camps, they are actually practicing on the field, they're playing again, they're inviting the people, other teams to play. But as far as Canada is concerned, we were just doing the net practice in the Yashi and that's it. And that also before, embarking on the journey, they do like 10 days camp or 12 days camp. That's it. So in that scenario, I will say these players are doing tremendous job. Because if they are competing with this UAE and Bangladesh and England with only just net practice, then you can imagine the kind of skill we have. Anything else you would like to point out, Karun, or on this the first match?
Yes, Devesh bhai, I would like to finish what I was started about the first match. They're batting. You know a target. You have a target in your mind. You know how you're going to go about it. You have seen a wicket. I'm sure the coaches and captains and the think tank sitting with Canadian team have made a plan A. That's how we're going to approach it. I think you see individual performances. You have 46 from Anup Chima, who for me is one of the better batsmen in this tournament so far. Then you have a decent 96 by the captain himself. And then you have a Kira Sharma, 43. Ethan Gibson started to look good, but he's like Shimran Hitmire, a couple of shots, and then you were lost in the business. But what I'm saying is, like Omar mentioned before, you have to play consecutive cricket. You have to play long cricket. You have to play match practice. You have to learn how to chase. You have to learn how to defend. I think this is where the difference was, like I wrote on one of your posts, that the difference between a associate country and a test country, or a good country who's getting there, like Afghanistan have been there, UAE is getting there to be a next test power, was Edmund. People know how to chase, they construct their innings, they have a partnership going on well, they have proper batting lineup, and they'll plan to go with it. I think I watched a bit of the highlights, I watched the scorecard. From what I've seen so far, I don't see any plan in it. Everybody's going there and expressing themselves, which is good. Yes, these are young lads getting one opportunity to express themselves, but the plan comes from the coaching staff, from the higher authorities, management, that this is the plan, that's how we're going to go with it.
We'll come to the
I think
coaching.
that was missing.
This is one of the talking points all across Canada amongst the cricket fans. They all are wondering about the coaching, and I will focus on that area, because I agree with you, Karun and Umar, that there is no plan. Right? It doesn't look like that team is going ahead with a plan. They all are going and expressing themselves, which is good, but there should be some method to the madness, right? It doesn't look to be. Agree? Oh, this was the first match. We lost by like how many runs? 40 runs around. And then we proceeded for the second match, which was like against England. So England was like quite a hard one, I will say. We were not expecting them to win. But one thing weird came in this match, and I thought I wrote about this as well. St. Kitts is like a flat wicket, right? Umar and Karun, you have played there a lot in West Indies. So there is no brainer that when you win the toss, what was the point of choosing the bowling? Why don't you flat go for the batting? Were you afraid of that, or what?
Maybe
I think
chasing is Canada's strength, if that's what they feel. Sorry, Sunny. So they have a plan. I mean, supposedly it looks like as if they have a plan. To chase. They did fairly well. I mean, to even get to close to 240, chasing against UAE, it's a decent effort. So they thought, if they could restrict England to somewhere around that region, 250, 260, they could be in with a chance. But I think at 320 is a little bit just out of their reach.
Yeah, so, I will say that batting is a stronger side aspect of Canada team in comparison. So if your batting is good, then I will rather give a big chase, a big target for the opponent, and some margin for my bowlers, so they can defend it. Maybe they were
Historically,
lacking in confidence.
historically, our strength has been our bowling,
Yeah.
not batting. I mean, it might have changed now, but our batting has always been our weakest suit.
No, but this time around, I will say bowling and batting both looks
Right. But, you've been around these guys more than I have,
Yeah.
so you know better
Yeah.
about this team than I do. So you may be right in your assessment. But
Yeah.
historically, I'm saying that Canada has been a better bowling team than a batting team.
No, but this time when I look at the batting team selection, I was not very unsatisfied. I say that there will always be noise, and people will complain that this guy was better, and keeping that aside, more and less all the players who were selected, I found them okay. Like they were performing in under 19 domestic tournaments. Few lads you can questions, and I agree with that, but they look very good. So I will say batting side, Canada had more. It's a stronger side in the sense from if you compare with their bowling. Yeah, Karun, you wanted to say something here?
No, I was just saying, second game, you're coming against the big boys of world cricket. You're coming against England.
Yeah.
And, you're going to be televised live, because a lot of things work in players' mind. One of them is being played live. The world is watching. A family sitting in the stands, people around the world in Canada. Everybody is watching us. Though every ball we face, every ball we bowl, I think our guys started very well. First 7 to 9 overs, like I said before to you, I was speaking about it. They have done very well. But my question was captaincy again. the strategy, where the strategy comes from. Is it captain's individual mind? Is it being filtered down from the manager, coach, and everybody, senior bowling coach, batting coach who was sitting in the dugout? Where does it come from? Like, you got John Beetle out after being struggling for 7 runs of 18 balls. Like, after 7 overs, you are 20 odd runs. And then all of a sudden, new batsmen come in, the captain, Tom Prest. In English media, it is all about him because English media is very strong. They promote their junior cricket. Just like India and everybody else. There's news all over the place. Tom Prest, leading in England in the 19 old. He comes into bat, couple of bad deliveries. All of a sudden, new change comes in. There's no slips, there's no gully, there's no attacking field, defensive field all of a sudden, as much as you can. So again,
there was no strategy.
What's the strategy? What's the plan A? What's the plan B? What's the plan C? Or is it we are playing club cricket? This guy will hit runs. Let's put everybody on the boundary. Give them easy singles. And these English boys, you come against Indian boys, Pakistani boys, Australian boys. This is the bread and butter for them. They're going to make runs out of it.
Historically, I'll raise one point here. Historically, English are not a very good against leg spinner. You agree with that, or that has changed?
No, but I will tell you again. At that point, Snell was bowling one of my favorite spinner, and that's Sheel Patel, left arm spinner, coming into you. Again, I'm going to speak to you later about this lad. Very good spinner. He's bowling very well. He's troubling these guys. English batsmen come in. We have seen English batsmen again. Ravi Jadeja, Fawad Alam, all these guys bowling in. They can't play spin that well earlier on. Put pressure, put a slip on, put everybody inside, let him go over the top. One boundary, you open the field up. So these are the things that you learn and you practice day in and day out as a team, that when we go into the game against these lads, that's what we're going to plan against them. This bowler, we want this field. This is the pressure we want against them.
But the only way to learn is you have to play more. You can't play 5 matches and expect, these guys will learn. You have to play. And that's where, we lack. But playing as a team also matters. I know a lot of these guys are based in Ontario, so they must know each other. But, somebody coming in from outside.
95% or 96% of players are from Ontario. So you can very well say this is Ontario team, not a Canada team.
Okay, so that's fine. They practice together, but how many matches have they played together as a team? Have they, come up with a strategy?
No, so
how we're gonna go.
Yeah, because you haven't checked the recent matches. They played under 19 championship in Ontario among themselves. So these players were divided into separate teams, and they played against each other or with each other. So they are quite have already gelled together as a team. So that is maybe in a past that may be the case, but this team I will say they have played with them quite a bit. And it's not like
they didn't play against the same quality of opposition that they're playing against.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that is not there. So quality is always questionable because, and we'll go to the domestic performance and we'll also check the record, and you will see that data always tell you some of the truth, maybe not all the truth, but you will see the strike rate, bowling average. And if that is the strike rate in this quality against this quality of bowling in domestic circuit, then I'm not surprised if they are struggling with the strike rate in international area.
If you just scroll down, you'll be able to see, their strike rates are batting.
So
you compare that to the other one. I mean, the highest was 110, but
you see a lot of people 120, 160, 120, 90, 100. So on top of the orders, 81, 100. Tom Prest has gone with 100 minimum. So in modern, and that is the point I was trying to raise, and it's not a criticism. I don't want to pick one particular guy. Generally, I see Anup is playing a great game. He's top of the form, playing very well. But all, including Anup, I think some point at time I see they get stuck. They're not able to rotate regularly the way if you compare with, and it is not fair to compare with English or other. But within associate country, if you see, we need a batsman who can rotate quite regularly. So what do you think that why we are lacking in that area, Umar and Karun?
I think that's just down to lack of skill.
Mhm.
That's all it is basically.
But
Um,
mhm.
it's very simple. There is no, I think, there's nothing else to it. It's just a matter of skill, being able to rotate, strike. But even if your role in the team is to bat as much as possible, one of the top three, you should still be able to, have a strike rate around 80 to 90. Because it's not like we were playing ODI cricket in the 70s or 80s where you look to just bat out as much as possible or whatever, you get 160, 170 and then try to cash it in the last 10 overs. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
So it's just down to lack of skill. Yeah, on an odd day you may get very good bowling, or the pitch is bad and you're struggling to get it off the square. But nowadays I think it's almost criminal that if you're scoring rate is around
See,
60
if
or
you see
70.
our top batsman, and Sid could not last, only 5 runs. Unfortunately, he
I think
got.
the
And I
intent
had
has to
heard,
be
I
there as
heard
well.
that he's a good batsman. A lot of people are sending me messages about him that is a good batsman. Why he's not getting chance? So because I'm not there, so I can't say why he's not getting chance. Sid Lad was introduced because Jeff Shah got injured, and that is why he was dropped against England. Anup Sima, if you see 38 run of 65, his strike rate almost dropped, almost come to 50 when he goes against the quality bowling, right? So again, Yashir 83, but if you see 25 out of 30 ball, and then he got 3 chances. So he could not capitalize on the luck that day, so that is his fault. Mihir Patel again failed here to perform as a captain. So and then down the line, if you see only Ethan and I don't know why Ethan is coming so down the order. Ethan is a good batsman; he should be promoted. So this is what I'm trying to that's why I'm criticizing it.
I think
Uh,
I think it's down to lack of
Planning.
clarity about the roles within the team. But I mean, if you said they've played so much with each other or against each other, they should have been clarified long before.
Yeah.
Devesh bhai, if I may speak, I was about to finish about the
Yeah.
batting
Sorry.
of
Go ahead.
Canadian, right?
So,
So we're getting off topic here a bit every
Yeah.
time
Go
I
ahead.
have
Go
to
ahead. Go
speak.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the whole thing is, we talk about batting, we talk about everybody else. You have to look at performance of Gurneet Johal. He have come there, he have saved the day for the Canada. He have got respect from being, instead of out at 170, 160, he came, and the shots he have played against England, these are the future test players for England. These are future T20 international players for England. The way he have backed against them, we have to look at the positives out of this. There are
Yeah.
guys who can bat, and bowling out, like I was saying, that guy you named, Crowd, I cannot pronounce his name, but he bowled his heart out. The first wicket he got, the impression on his face, even the commentators was praising it. So there's a lot of positive out of it. Our batting, like we've been discussing, how to rotate the strike.
Yeah.
Anup Chima keeps on coming again and again in your mind. I'll tell you, this is the glue that's holding the team together. He's like MS Dhoni coming at top of the order instead of coming at number 6 or 7. Take his performance out and look at
But
what other guys have done.
Anup Chima also play for county. Do you know that fact? So he's
Again,
supposed. Yeah.
my point exactly. Guys playing good cricket, he's showing the evidence of it. He's making runs, he's taking responsibility at top of the order, keeping the wickets. And best thing I like about this guy is, I saw his game against England, and a small throw on the right side, he's cautioning it, that can't you throw right on the stumps? I haven't even seen Ashish Bagai doing it. A lot of keepers will just want to collect the ball and throw it back. This guy is cautioning the fielders, come on, man, let's throw it right on the stumps. That's the future of Canada. These are the young guys who can take the Canada forward. There's a very good talent in this group, and they can take Canadian team forward, which we'll talk about later. But now we're going to talk about rotating the strike. Where do they play? Ross Lord, a lot of other grounds in Toronto, in Vancouver. Grass is about this high. You hit a ball, it barely rolls to the cover field. That's how it was in our time. I don't know how it is now. You guys play.
No, only Brampton Mayor has brought a law where they are like cutting the grass now. make it more playable. But I don't know all the grounds about other grounds.
But that's Brampton, 99% of Canada. How these players
No, but
should learn how
Brampton
to
is
rotate
now
strikes.
has now become the capital of cricket in Canada. Most of the cricket activities done there. But I agree with you. Other fields are like not very playable.
But that's the thing. These guys are taught because of the field itself that you're gonna hit a ground shot, you're gonna get nothing. You have to go over the top, hit the boundaries, hit the sixes, because you cannot time a ball to four, or you cannot drop a ball, play a late cut, and get twos or threes or ones or twos. So I think it's all comes down to, again, I'm sure we're gonna discuss this later, domestic structure, how you process your ground, and how you give these guys the facilities to learn these things, drop and run, and all this sort of stuff. But I guess, we are way far away from it. If I'm still talking about it from when me and Umar played about it, I think God knows when it's going to happen.
Things haven't changed
But
much.
so I will not, I should not be sounded as I'm supporting some player, but I thought that in this match, probably we could have also included Mohit Prashar, who is a very good batsman and also a very good leg spinner. But we didn't because England definitely struggle against the quality spin, and that's what you see. The Carib has done like a tremendous job against England. If you see here, if you talk about Anup Chima's attitude, the way he came and played against England, then we have to also talk about Karab Sharma, who really bowled very well in this match. If you have seen 10 over 51 run and 3 wickets, it's a good bowling statistic.
Absolutely. And being a spin analyst, I've worked with Indian players. I've worked in India. I've worked with a lot of players in England and county and stuff like that in club cricket. One thing I'll tell you about Kirov is his leg spin. Yes, he's been decisive because of his action, but the consistency is still not there. That's where you have to play against your senior players, or good players who are good players of spin bowling, who can take you on. So say, for example, you bowl against somebody who's 20% good player of spin and you beat him all the time. You don't think I'm an amazing bowler. But then you come against somebody who's 90% amazing player of spin.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, your best bowling deliveries are worthless. But I could still see potential in this guy. I would see him working alongside somebody who's legend of leg spin in Canada, Junaid Siddiqui, working with senior player like Junaid Siddiqui, being in the squad, working with him. He could learn a lot. This could be future of Canadian cricket. Very good bowler.
Okay, so you suggest that these all young talents like Anup Chima, Yash, whatever, whoever is performing or not performing, they should be assigned to some senior players and groomed. That's what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying actually replace the whole senior team. They're not winning anything. Might as well take these young lads who are the future of team, put 3-4 senior. You know what?
You are saying that Junaid trains this guy so that he can replace you. Junaid is not going.
What I'm saying is Junaid and a couple of other guys. Some guys are leaving for US to play in leagues. A lot of other guys who are committed to Canadian cricket. Use these guys as senior players. Replace the other guys who are just showing up at time after time as captain or whatever, and not giving results. Give these young lads a future. They're playing in World Cup. What's next for them? Show them upstairs. So I think this is where the guys can go.
So let's go to our third match, and this one also, tough luck for Canada. Bangladesh is defending champion, so they were supposed to come back hard on Canada, and they did it. We were bundled out in 136. Again, Anup Chima stand out, 63 runs, and rest of the player did not, perform up to the marks. Jasha again failed, Yasir again failed, Meherpat again failed. So Mohit Parashar was playing well, and that's what I pointed it out. But because of rotation, lack of rotation between Anup and Mohit, Mohit took a chance and got out. Probably this is the job of the coach. They should have sent some message to these guys. Hang on, you guys are playing. And because both Mohit and Anup was middling very well that time. And maybe I found Anup a little bit stuck, but maybe he was trying to stay on the pitch, on the crease. That's why he sounded like, he appeared to be stuck, but he was playing very well before that. And then Mohit got out, and then Anup stayed. The only guy who can, stay till last. I think he was the 8th wicket. Anup got out, 126 for 8. After that, we bundle out 136. So it is fair to say Anup actually holded this inning together.
Yeah, if you look at the scorecard, that's what it seems like. So, I mean, you can't be critical of his strike rate because others are not doing anything. And if he didn't stick around that long, I think they probably wouldn't even got that far. So, I mean, you have to look at the whole picture. It's not just one element. There's so many different aspects at play. So it's easy to be critical when you say, oh, he's made 60 of 117. But it depends on the context too, game situation. They got out in 44 overs, so they still left 5, 6
that's what I
overs.
say. Because of Anup, this inning was holding together.
Right. So, I mean, we discussed in the last game his strike rate, but that's not the, overall picture. There's a lot more at play than just the strike rate. And I saw Bangladesh's boring is very good, actually. And I saw that against England because they were only defending 98. And the way Bangladeshi bowlers bowled at England, top order didn't have much answer to the Bangladesh, especially their fast bowlers. A couple of those guys are genuinely quick bowlers, and the way they bowled against England. So I'm not, I mean, under those circumstances, I think Anup Chima played very well.
100%. And I'm not pointing out at one person. I'm saying a strike rate overall in Canada team. We see it is lacking. And I'll tell you why it is lacking. When we'll go to the domestic circuit, you will see that fact.
I think it's a combination of things, right? It's skill, lack of intent, or just being able to survive. It's mindset, because most of the game is played in your mind. It's just the way you visualize yourself playing. But I mean, if you come up with a bowler who's bowling at 140 clicks, which you haven't faced before, even in practice, against the bowling machine, you haven't developed those skills to be able to play some of the shots that we see international guys playing. Their skill level is on another level, and we haven't developed that yet. So we can't be too critical of these guys.
No, we can be a little critical, right, Umar?
But Devesh bhai, Bangladesh has always been
not too much
subject of critics.
I wouldn't, honestly. These guys try hard, they play their hearts out, and it's just not fair if you criticize.
See, let it be very clear that in the given circumstances, and as in the beginning I already said that if they are practicing in the net and straight away going and playing in the international match, and then if you see in that perspective, I think this is super performance. Nobody can do this kind of performance, right? It's very, very hard to do that.
For sure. Sunny was saying something.
Karun, yes, chip in.
Sorry, I'm here too. So, वही कहना चाह रहा था कि बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट हम लास्ट खेले थे in 2004 World Cup जब उमर हमारे कप्तान थे भाई. तो I remember I was batting and Soham was batting, and we made again similar sort of partnership. We were, Lala, what was it? 130, 120, similar sort of target.
Yeah, down the order, you guys had.
We were defending against Bangladesh, and I was one ball away from becoming the joint fastest 50 meter and 19 World Cup like Yuvraj Singh. But that ball, instead of being a 4, went a catch by a current test player of Bangladesh, Inamul Haq Jr. So look, sometimes these teams have current test players. They're only playing test matches or first class matches, and they're playing for the 19 World Cup. So you come against these guys, where are we coming from? So I think our guys, again, have done very well. And my boy, Anup Chima, I would say, he was the glue. Like I said, he's my compliment. I'm the biggest fan of MS Dhoni. My compliment to him will be, he's like MS Dhoni of Canada. At top order, I've seen his wicket keeping skills. He's probably the best wicket keeper batsman Canada could ever produce. So
could be is already.
I think already is with his skills. Like, this is the guy you invest in. Whoever is the keeper batsman, Hamza is a very good wicket keeper batsman. He's been there for a while. You can go along with Anup Chima and senior team. I could see this guy making big inroads into bigger cricket. And again, you come down to the batting, nobody have done nothing. You should look at the strike like Omar was talking about.
No, strike rate, I'm not pointing out in one point because he is the best batsman. You expect more from him. But overall, strike rate, I'm not happy with any batsman, or to be very frank.
That's always been Canada's problem, even at senior level, junior, every level.
Yeah.
Again, like was said before, you have to learn how to prepare your innings, how to approach a target, and you do that at domestic level. Do we have a domestic level?
One point also I wanted to raise, and I don't know whether you guys have noticed, because I have seen that in all the three matches, whenever bowler did a tight over, whenever you do a tight over, you will always get an opportunity for the wicket, and that was happening with Canada. I saw 3 ball, they did pretty well, and we are sensing that now we'll get a wicket, and the wicket is lost because you drop the catch, or the next ball you gave was juicy ball that they can hit the ball, for 4 and 6s. So all the pressure you built is gone in the 4th ball, or you drop the catch. So those are the opportunity. There should be a game awareness among all the players, and this is not for one. All the players, I'm telling, they lack that game awareness, and coaching is not helping them anyway.
And Lala mentioned that earlier on. Fielding was one of the weak points.
No,
and in fielding, if you're dropping catches, you're missing boundaries, like in England games. Like we look like at some time look like a club team playing against the touring international side.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between chasing 270 versus 305, or chasing 280 versus you could have been chasing 240. I don't know what Lala have to say about it, but I think fielding makes a difference of at least 30-40 runs in Canada cricket at all times.
In all these 3 matches, I will say we didn't have we have a good fielding some of the time, but not consistent.
Yeah,
right. All teams talk about this. Fine. Your bowling skill could be different, your batting skill could be different, but 2 things that are always in your control are your fitness levels and your fielding standard. So that isn't non-negotiable. But that's also down to practice. When you're practicing at Yashi Sport, the ball is not bumping, it's coming straight at you. But when you're in a field where there might be little small stones or whatever, and the field is not the flattest, then you gotta get your body behind the ball. And so there's different factors. There is no wind indoors, so when you're outdoor, and especially in the Caribbean, on an island, there's always wind. So if there's a high catch coming, what are you gonna do, right? So it's all about being outdoors, playing all the time in order for us to get better. That's what it boils down to ultimately.
Yeah.
And you know what? Omar mentioned Yashi Sports a few times, fielding and bowling and batting in Yashi Sports. Batting, you could still go with the flow. Bowling, Omar can tell better because you can swing the ball outdoors much better. But fielding, how are you going to field indoors in those small 4 nets? How are you going to practice?
That is why we have a poor fielding performance. Yeah.
How are you going to practice fielding there? You have to send the boys out. Like, you could send them to Florida. You could send them to Jamaica or somebody. We have so many places around. England send players to UAE and stuff. So you can send players somewhere for a 2 weeks camp, wherever it's cheapest for you as a board to do. You have to send the players out. You have to get them ready. And that's how you do it, not indoors. You don't practice indoors. Omar is right. Fielding is in your control. Fitness is in your control. If you control that, you could save a lot of runs. Jonty Rhodes, Mohammad Kaif, these guys made career based on fielding itself.
So if you see Canada under 19 batting performance, top is 2 batsmen, Anup and Mihir. The yellow color is telling you the run. In the middle, if you see that band, that is number of games they have played. The best average, batting average is having Anup, around 49 average. So this is just halfway through. They have to still play 3 more matches to go. But they will play for, I think, 13, 14, and 15, if I'm not wrong. They have lost 12 positions. So because they have not won a single match. So they are not going to qualify for the next World Cup automatically. I guess so. So Mihir is also not far behind. Karab is done, I will say considerably well. But rest, everyone is like below par. You can see that, right? So only 2 batsmen or 3 batsmen, you say, are performing consistently. Otherwise, not even consistently. Only Anup is the only consistent batsman, I will say. And let's take a look at bowling performance. The bowling average, you can see all these, the tower. The bowling average it was 60 for Harjap Saini, Gurmeet Johal, Sheel Patel. Everyone average is high, very high. Ethan even crossing 40, and Ethan is not even a bowler, I will say. Karab Sharma is below 40, and best bowler average wise is your Parmbi. You can see wide and no ball. In this area, I will say they have done pretty well. I was expecting more no ball and white ball, but when I looked at the performance and club it together, you see white ball, few white balls, I will say, and no ball is like good. Only 2 no balls. Sheel and Parmir did it. Otherwise, in 3 matches, they have done pretty well on this area, I will say. Economical and wicket. So Mihir Patel is crossing 6. Sheel Patel, Ethan, everyone is crossing 6. Sorry. And the most number of wicket is like this, the blue one, the dark blue one, and that is Karab Sharma. He's at the top. No, Paramveer. Paramveer and Karab is together, like 4.
Yeah, 4.
So this is what we are doing. What is your sum it up, and then we'll jump to the domestic section.
I think as spinner myself, I would say my favorite spinner right now is Sheel Patel. He's a left-arm spinner. Kirov is up there too, but Sheel Patel, he's very accurate. He reminds me of Ravi Jadeja from Indian team. He's on the mark at all times. But what he's lacking is turn away. Like he's very one-dimensional bowler. He's releasing the way he's released the ball. It's going straight into the batsman. It will work on these wickets. Come future World Cups, you're playing in India, Pakistan, UAE on turning conditions. He's not going to get much out of it. He's going to be a sitting duck for any good quality spin player coming against him. So I would like him, and his accuracy is immaculate. He's always delivering on the spot. He's testing batsmen like Jadeja coming in, but he developed ball going away from him, which I didn't see much of it. And Kirav Sharma, amazing action. It's a bit deceiving, a bit like Rashid Khan, but different version of it. He have a very good googly, like he bowled the English batsman on googly. That was amazing. It was
your
actually,
favorite bowler is giving more than 6.5 run economically.
That's fine. That's fine. But he's bowling a lot more overs than the other. I'm actually surprised he haven't bowled all the overs in every game, because he's bowling in tough conditions against a top order batsman. Like, if you're going to compare him to one of the guys who's coming at number 9 and bowling 3 overs and giving 2 runs, it doesn't justify it. But I think Sheel Patel is future of Canadian cricket. Kirav Sharma, definitely leg spinner. The world is looking for it. I would love to see this guy. Sandeep Lamishame from Nepal is a world-renowned player of leagues, IPL to BBL to everywhere. I would love to see these 2 guys going and playing cricket in around the world as spinners. They can do very well. I didn't see any fast bowler who could catch my eye, to be honest.
Yeah.
And again, Ethan Gibson, you said he was picked as a fast bowler. He's bowling as an opener, second change and fifth change. So I don't know if he's a fast bowler or not.
Ethan is, when I saw his team selection names, he is listed as a batsman, not a bowler. So I don't know how come he started bowling.
Okay, again, same question. Opening the bowling, second change, fifth change. So.
Yeah, so this is all about the overview performance. I think overall you both agree that given the circumstances, these guys are doing pretty well, and we should always praise him. Yes, we should always praise him, but if there is a scope of improvement, we should also point it out, right? Agree? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's jump to the domestic one, and I think you guys wanted to pitch in with some of your analysis there, right?
Go ahead, Paji. What's the question?
So, did you take the domestic performance like for these guys? Let me give you a perspective here. So, and you are right. If you check here, let me share the screen again, and then you will see. Best bowling economy, under 19. I'm taking the under 19 Ontario Championship. Okay. So as you can see, Sheel Patel is the best bowler economy wise. His economy rate is 2.34. Mihir is followed up. And then one name, and I got a call recently that, this guy, Iran, and Iran is a good fast bowler who is touching 120, 25. And why this guy was not selected is a mystery because he's not far behind with Parmeer, who has been selected. If you see 4 matches, 30 overs, 121 runs, 6 wicket. Whereas Iran is not far behind. Almost the same amount of run, and the economy is average is 26, whereas Parmeer is 20, and strike rate is 33. So not far behind with Iran. So given the fact that we are struggling at the bowling department, the fast bowling department, it really surprised me why we could not pick some of the better bowler.
I think that's a good question for selectors to answer because it's really a toss-up because they're very similar stats-wise. So
and you see,
why both couldn't be picked is the only way to find out is for the selectors to answer.
Especially when you are struggling.
And Devesh, I agree with Umar. It's for something selectors to answer. But at same point in earlier interview, you mentioned majority team is out of Ontario. How many more boys you want from Ontario? Like, why are we always looking at Ontario Cup and discussing Canadian team? Why can't we look at Canada Cup and say this is how
Canada
Canadian team
Cup
is
also
made?
they took into consideration.
No, but
I could not find the stat for that, but
that's exactly my question. My thing is when Canadian team is discussed, stats are discussed. I personally would love to answer stats based on Canada Cup. This is a Canadian championship, BC, Calgary, Quebec, everybody's there. And this is where the person performed. If somebody performs in Ontario itself, I don't see why he's good enough to be in the national team.
So let's check these are the best bowlers strike rate wise. Mihir is there again. Ithan is also bowling.
So I'm sorry, can I Mihir Patel, is he a batting all-rounder or bowling all-rounder?
So I try to find out, and when I go to Ontario list of players, it is funny, and every player you look at, they will show you as an all-rounder. So I'm very confused who is the
Can we go to the batting stats and see, because the way I see our top bowlers, their economy is very good. So that only tells you that, our batting is really weak. And so if this is the best of the lot, that means the other players that should be knocking on the door are not performing. And these guys are comfortable in their positions, and whether they perform or not, it is irrelevant because these are the best that we've got, and they will be there no matter what happens.
Now, see, he is also all-rounder. So if his bowling is bowling, but a lot of people I talked with, and I think he's a pure batsman. He's a good batsman. He started as a batsman. I don't know how he is bowling there. So every player you search, Mihir Patel, suppose, he will appear as a all-rounder. See, he's an all-rounder. So that is also one problem I will say, that we have a lot of master of all what do you say, trade of master of all
Jack of
trade,
all trades. Jack
jack
of
of
all
all
trades.
trade, master of none. So that is the problem I see, because every player you will search on the website, they will turn out to be an all-rounder. We do not have a specialized batsman. We do not have a specialized bowler. That is the problem, I see.
Yeah. I think we need to do another show just on maybe domestic structure
Yeah,
and things that need to be done for us to improve as a cricketing nation.
yeah.
But
So
I think that's another long one for another day.
yeah, no, I think we have exceeded
Maybe
time.
we could do one at the end of the World Cup itself. We have three
Yeah,
more games to play,
yeah,
and
three
we'll
more
see
to
where
go.
our boys are.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll like to see Anup scoring the highest ever.
Well, I
We'd
would
like
say
to
the three guys I'm looking forward every game they play is Anup Chima, Sheil Patel, and Gurneek Joel. These are
yeah.
my three boys. I would love to see them, and I think they will perform every
No,
single game. And
I
they're the
have a
core
different take on it.
of
I
the
see
team.
all the 11 player who plays. I see all of them as my favorite. I don't want to choose one of them as a favorite and say, because other will are everyone is going to listen to this program and I'm going to want to discourage them. Everyone is top of the uh, top player
Yeah,
for
we
us.
support them.
Yeah, we
This is the
support them.
future of Canadian cricket.
No, I support everybody. I support every
Yes, we
player
support
in the 11.
everyone
But
who has been
my
selected.
three
Let's put it
boys,
like this: that everyone who
my
has been selected. Yeah, go ahead, Karun.
my three boys are Anup Chima, Sheil Patel, Gurneek Joel to take us through next game.
Yeah.
To the top. That's
Okay.
my pick.
Okay. I respect
But
that.
good luck to everybody. Good luck to everybody in the
No, everyone
squad
who
of
has been
16 or
selected.
18, whatever the squad is.
Yeah.
Good luck to everybody. But these three boys are carrying the weight so far and looking forward to
Yeah, Umar, what
bigger
is your
performance for
take
them.
on it?
Look, I support these guys. We've been in their positions. We understand, how difficult it is to compete against these guys. Some of the players we played against, they turned out to be test players or one-day international players for their respective countries. I know from India, you got Shikhar Dhawan, very successful at our time. And there are so many, from
Power
all
Ajam.
countries. Alistair Cook from England, he was the captain when we played.
Alistair Cook?
Alistair Cook. Tim Payne was the captain for Australia under 19 because Callum Ferguson got injured. From Pakistan, you had Khalid Latif. He was the captain at that time, and a couple other guys for Pakistan. Even from West Indies, Narsingh Deonarayan, he played for West Indies, and a few other guys. So these guys are our future
star, yeah.
cricket. They're in a tough spot, but we have to support them no matter what because they're doing their best.
Yeah, Karun has already picked his three star, and he thinks that these three are going to make it. And I fully agree with him. The way they are performing, it looks to be a future star for us. But performance-wise is one thing. But I think the moment you have been selected, you all are good. Give your best. And there are three more matches to go. And I hope some of you will show your caliber in the next three matches. Capitalize on it because now there's nothing to lose. You have already lost the place in top 10. 11, 12 is also out of the question because we have not won a single match and run rate is also bad. So probably do your best. Show the world that there is good talent, bunch of talent. We are the only place where we are put down is because of our administrations, the vision and all, because we lack in those areas. And the given circumstances of COVID, we are doing our best, right? So anything else you would like to add before I sum it up and close the program?
Listen, good luck to all the Canadian boys, all the families who have traveled to support their kids in the campaign. They're working hard. Like you said, tough times with COVID and all, bubble and all. And, you don't have much crowd out there. You don't have much, experience of the country you're playing under the World Cup is out there. So my thing is give you 100%, play for your country, wear the name with pride, and give your best. Just enjoy the game at the end of the day. Whatever the outcome is, you give your 100%, enjoy the game. That's what my thing will be.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And with this, I'm going to close the program. And if you're listening to it and you like my program, please subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, ClickChop. and keep enjoying different programs I will be doing in future. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Take care, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.